At number 10, it is The Physician, a movie focusing on an orphan boy named Rob and his determination to study medicine and prevent others from dying of easily treatable diseases in 1st century England, and this search for medical answers will eventually lead him to Persia. This movie is unique as it brings to life a topic very rarely discussed in movies or TV shows, and that is the way medical treatments and surgeries were performed during the medieval time period. So if you're looking for a movie that is well acted, perfectly paced, and brings a unique spin to historical dramas, then The Physician is my recommendation for you. At number 9, it is 13 Assassins, a movie which takes place in 1844 near the end of the Edo period, in which a group of 13 assassins, 12 samurais, and a hunter hatch a secret plan to assassinate a very corrupt and evil local lord. If you love historical movies with lots of combat and action scenes, then The 13 Assassins is the movie for you, as this movie has great battle scenes, an interesting plot, and some fantastic set pieces and world building. The acting though is not the best and some plot devices are a bit cliche, but 13 Assassins is a great movie for anyone who loves samurai and lots of over-the-top combat. And the 8th spot on this list goes to Downfall, which explores the final days of Adolf Hitler's life stuck in his Berlin bunker. And this film is told through the viewpoint of Gertrude Traudl-Jung, the primary secretary for Adolf Hitler during this time period. Downfall shines for its ability to bring something new to the story of Hitler and his last days that audiences would most likely not have seen before, as we see firsthand the deteriorating state of Hitler's mind and everything he held so dear crumbling around him. Downfall is definitely a movie that I would encourage any fan of historical war movies to add to their watch list as soon as possible, as it is probably the most unique and underrated World War II movie I have ever seen. At number 7, it is Sardar Udham, which follows a primary character named Udham Singh, a Sikh revolutionary who spends over 20 years planning and orchestrating the assassination of Michael O'Dowd, the man responsible for a Jallianwala Bagh massacre in which thousands of peaceful Indian protesters were horrifically massacred by British forces. And much of the praise around this film is based around the acting of the main cast, but also in the way the director has been able to reproduce the political and socio-economic climate of the time. So if you're looking to explore a little talked about massacre in Indian history and get a better understanding of the relationship between the British Empire and India, then Sardar Udham is the perfect film for you. The 6th spot on this list goes to Mongol, a biographical movie that came out in 2007, and it depicts the story of Genghis Khan from his childhood to his rise to becoming the warlord that finally unites all of Mongolia under his control. And this movie does a great job of slowly building the story of Genghis Khan and his family, and it spends a surprisingly long amount of time delving into his troubled childhood and the huge number of obstacles and struggles he would have to endure before even becoming a minor warlord in Mongolia. The 3rd act of this film though is very rushed and it depicts Temujin's rise to power far too quickly, but other than this critique, Mongol is one of the best movies that you probably haven't seen yet. At number 5, it is The Promised Land, a Danish historical drama which tells the story of Ludwig Khaled, who heads into the uninhabitable land of Jutland during the 1700s to start a new life and create a future filled with riches, glory, and honor for himself. And with a plot that is both fascinating and well paced, you will find yourself engrossed in this historical epic in a way that only the best of films can truly engage you. The 4th spot on this list goes to Admiral Roaring Currents, a South Korean epic war film which focuses on the famous Battle of Myeongryang, which sees General Yi Sun-sin fighting against a Japanese Navy fleet numbering over 330 ships with his own small force of only 13 ships. The Admiral Roaring Currents does a fantastic job of building General Yi's character as a reliable, experienced and fearless commander who is the last hope of the Joseon Empire. Admiral Roaring Currents is a perfect viewing experience for anyone looking for an epic historical adventure reminiscent of 300 on the Sea. The 3rd spot on this list goes to Red Cliff, the 288-minute complete version, not the 148 condensed movie that is also available as well. And Red Cliff utilizes a slower paced story to effectively develop the characters of the film, while also giving viewers a chance to witness the societal and political impact of the Three Kingdoms War on the common folk as well. There are also some amazing battle scenes which will keep the viewers on the edge of their seats, with some very outstanding and unique military tactics being displayed. Obviously, with a film of this magnitude, there are going to be some issues, such as there being too many names and characters for a viewer unfamiliar with the history of the Three Kingdom time period to keep up with. But this is a small critique for a film that is this well produced, so if you're looking for a movie about ancient China, then Red Cliff is my top recommendation for you. And number 2, we have Agora, a historical drama which follows the life of Hypatia, an Alexandrian mathematician, philosopher and astronomer from her childhood to her eventual death. Agora does a fantastic job of highlighting how difficult it was to advance science in the astronomies of the time and the growing influence of external forces in Alexandria. Rachel Weisz really shines in her role of Hypatia and does a fantastic job of bringing the character to life. But there are a few issues with pacing, and the political situation of the time could have been expanded upon a bit more in my opinion. But if you're looking for a truly epic historical film that shows a mix of Roman, Christian and scientific influences on ancient Alexandria, then Agora is my recommendation for you. And the top spot on this list goes to Arn the Knight Templar, which is a fictional story based on a Knight Templar named Arn if you couldn't decipher the clues from the movie's title. And this movie sees a fictional character named Arn become a Knight Templar and he eventually becomes a witness or a catalyst to many real historical events such as the Battle of Montgizzard and the Battle of Hattin. Arn the Knight Templar is also one of the most expensive films ever created in the history of Swedish cinema, and it is a fantastic feat of storytelling, cinematography and bringing a semi-accurate historical depiction of the Crusades to our screen. So it's definitely a strong recommendation from me, and in my opinion the most underrated and unknown historical film ever created. So let me know in the comments down below if you enjoyed this list and if there are any other great historical movies that are not very popular that I may have missed out on. And as always, if you want to stay up to date with everything to do with historical movies and historical TV shows, then subscribe to my channel History Spark, and thank you so much for watching. Have a great day. Bye.